All right, let's begin then. So, first quote for today comes from Gandhi. This is a really famous quote. I tried to choose quotes that I thought would be good for like motivational purposes because everybody is studying English, I assume. So, this one is one that's a pretty good one just for like life advice in general. The quote is, "You must be the change you want to see in the world. You must be the change you want to see in the world." Everyone says sound is good now. Nice, cool. Thank you guys, we appreciate it. Okay, so I want to focus on maybe the part of this quote that's a little bit difficult to understand is this part right here, this be the change. So we see like be before like a job title a lot. Like I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a musician, for example. But here we see be the change. So change is not like a position, change is not a job. This actually introduces to us this idea of using be before a way of thinking or before a way of living. So change is actually a concept here. In this case, Gandhi's specifically saying the change you want to see in the world. So this is the specific change he's talking about. So in other words, he's saying you must. So this must, if you remember your grammar, must is used to express strong opinions. So must, another way to say that could be like you should, but must is like a stronger version of that. So in other words, another way to say this could be you should change yourself in the same way you want to change the world. So this you must be is kind of like saying you should change yourself. You should be the change you want to see in the world. So that means you should live your life in the way you want the world to look like. So that's kind of an interesting quote, I thought, to begin today's lesson. So we'll see this be used for more conceptual ideas in the second quote for today too. So that's just a quick introductory one. Okay, let's go. If you have questions, send them in the chat. I will check. Oh, someone says no sound. Sounds strange. I hope the sound is fixed. If there's a problem, let us know in the chat, please. We'll work on it right away. For now, though, I want to go to the second one here. I prepared a quote. Maybe, I think a lot of you probably know Coco Chanel, the fashion designer Coco Chanel. So I wanted to choose some famous men and women to discuss today. So this quote from Chanel is, "In order to be irreplaceable," I'll talk about this word in just a minute. "In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different." Okay, so I want to start with this word right here, irreplaceable. This is a great example of a word that you can break down. So if you don't know this word, but if you know some roots of English, you can guess the meaning. So I'll show you how to do this. Some of you have asked like how to identify new words when you're reading text. I'll show you how to do this with this word. This is a great example. So I want to show three parts to this word actually. So here we have a prefix. So there's a video, I made a video for the channel called like prefixes. A prefix is like a couple of letters, like 2, maybe 3 letters at the beginning of a word, and that changes the word. This is one example of a prefix, IR. IR, ear. This is a prefix which means not, no, it means not. So that's part one I want to point out about this word. Then we have here replace. This is like the kind of the root that we see for this word, the word replace. It's like if something breaks, you need to get a new one. You need to find a new version of something. You need to replace something. Then here we see a suffix. A suffix then, I've also made a video about suffixes on the YouTube channel. A suffix is something that comes at the end of a word. So that also changes the meaning or adds to the meaning of the word. In this case, the suffix is able. Able means like an ability to do something. So the word irreplaceable, if we break it into these 3 parts, it means something. So here we have able to do something, not, and replace. So something that we cannot replace. in order to be irreplaceable. So another way to say this would be to become irreplaceable, to become something that cannot be replaced. That's how we can understand this beginning phrase. So I wanted to introduce this as a way that you can use to identify parts of words to try to guess the meaning based on your grammar knowledge. Ernesto, yeah, I wish I could give another example about this. If you want to see some more examples of using prefixes and suffixes, I recommend checking the YouTube channel. There's a prefix video and a suffix video. I talked about these 2 points in those 2 videos, and there are quite a few examples there, so I recommend checking that. That can help you as you read and you find new words and you need to guess the meaning. So I recommend this. So Sharif says, what's the YouTube channel? The YouTube channel is English Class 101. English Class 101. Okay, good. So that's the first part of this quote from Chanel. So she's saying, in order to be irreplaceable. So we see also, as we saw with this quote from Gandhi, this be. So that means your way of living. So to be an irreplaceable person, a person who cannot be replaced by someone else. So she follows this with this expression, one must always be different. One must always be different. This is maybe a question for some of you. One, what does one mean? One is used like formal you. This one does not mean a number. Maybe you know the word oneself. This one means like you. It sounds a bit more formal though. So we're talking about just people in general, individual people in general. So we use one to talk about that, and it sounds more formal than using you. So, like Gandhi's quote too, Chanel is saying one must always be different. So again, must shows a strong opinion. So we can understand she feels strongly that we always should try to be different. So we need to be different from other people, in other words. So to read this again, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. A different way to say this expression could be, to become an irreplaceable person, you need to be different from other people. So this is a simplified way of saying that, but this is, I think, kind of a key point for this quote, and also kind of a good way to study new words that you see. Ah, you can't see the last explanation. You are right. I'm sorry. That's my fault. That's my fault. We probably can't change that. I don't want to. Oh, can you adjust the camera? It's my fault. It's my fault. I can write it again here. Is that better for you? Oh, you're moving it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Perfect. So again, to become irreplaceable, you need to be different from other people. This is a simpler way to understand this quote. Okay, good. Thank you very much for your feedback, guys. Really appreciate it. But I think it's time to take a break. We'll take a quick break and then I'll continue on to the next quotes. So as always, wow, there are lots of you watching. As always, we have free stuff for you guys. Last week, and I think this week also, there's a package of free stuff. I believe that is still available from the link. Yes? Yeah, okay. From the link in the description in last week's live stream, maybe. But this week, as always, we have a whole lot of other PDFs that are totally free on the website. I will show them on this camera over here. Is it okay? I'm just going to hold up a bunch of them. Yeah, there we go. So there are 13, 15 of these now. So there are different topics. Today we're talking about quotes. So there's no specific PDF related to quotes, but we are reviewing some key vocabulary today that are important for understanding these kinds of things. So if you know you have a gap in your vocabulary, like there are some vocabulary words you don't know about these topics. Oops, that one's backwards, sorry. You can, there we go. Travel, there we go. You can find these all for free in the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube. So If you're watching on YouTube, don't check the chat description. Please check the description below the video. If you're watching on Facebook, the link is above the video. So these are all the free things I just showed you. If you have an account, you can download these right away. If you do not have an account, you can make one for free and download them. So you can download all of them, not just one. So if you know you have a gap in your vocabulary, you can check those out. Good stuff. Okay, anyway, as I said, yeah, today we're talking about famous English quotes. So if you've just joined, welcome. We've talked about a couple of quotes here. Oh, you're gonna change camera again. Wow, thanks. We have like midstream adjustment. Woo. Anyway, today we're talking about famous English quotes, and I'm going to go on to the second part. I hope I have time to talk about this. This is quite a long lesson today. I cannot move the camera closer. We can zoom it in and zoom it out a little bit, but we can't really move the camera very much right now. Let's get moving. If you've just joined too, please don't forget to like the video so other people can find it. Much appreciated. Okay, let's move on then to the next two quotes I prepared. I like these two a lot. I want to start with this one at the top. This quote comes from a woman called Lucille Ball. Maybe some of you know her. She was a very famous American comedian and actress. She said, this quote I thought was perfect for today's lesson. First, I'll read the quote. It is, "I'd rather regret the things I've done than the things I haven't done." So, first, I want to start with this, I'd rather. So let's remind ourselves here. Many of you ask about this I'd, like how to hear this pronunciation. This is a great reminder that I'd means I would. So she's saying, I'd rather regret the things I've done than the things I haven't done. So maybe some of you are familiar with this I'd rather A than B pattern. So this quote follows the same thing. It's exactly the same pattern. I'd rather A than B. But what does this mean? A key word here is regret. So to regret means to feel bad about something. To feel bad about or to feel sorry about something. Can you see that? It's a bit small, sorry. It says to feel bad about, to feel bad about. So to regret something means to feel bad about something. So she's saying, in this part, this is the A part, the things I've done. So here she's using I have done. So the things she has experienced. She would rather feel bad about the things she has experienced than the things she hasn't experienced. So she's using the opposite in the second part of this quote. She uses the positive, I've done, and the negative, I haven't done. So a different way to understand this quote is, I would rather feel bad about something I did than something I did not do. So this is an expression about like taking chances. So it's like something, maybe you have an opportunity, you don't take the opportunity, and if that opportunity is successful, you feel bad about it. So she's saying she wants to take opportunities and try things, and if it fails, okay, but she wants to at least try. She doesn't want to regret, she doesn't want to feel bad about missing an opportunity. That's what this quote means. Okay. Good. If you have any questions, please send them along. Oh, is Instagram okay? I think Instagram is kind of like drooping. Sorry, Instagram. Sorry. Okay, let's continue on to the next one because these are long. These are longer than I thought. Let's continue to the next one. This is actually a sports quote. So I did some research to find the person who said this quote. Many people said that Wayne Gretzky is a very famous hockey player. Many people claim that Wayne Gretzky said this quote, but I could not confirm it. So for now, it's like a sports quote. Let's read it. It is, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Okay, so there are a couple of key vocabulary words I want to talk about here. They are actually very similar. First is this one, miss and take. So, to miss a shot. Can you see that? Yes, okay, barely. So this says to miss a shot, M-I-S-S, to miss a shot. To miss a shot and to take a shot. These two are different expressions. To miss a shot means you try to achieve something. You try to score a goal, for example, but you fail. So when you miss, there's an attempt. You try to do something, but it doesn't work. So there are two stages to miss a shot. Then, to take a shot means just to try. So there's no failure or success. It means to try. We tend to use these expressions in sports. So like soccer, for example, or hockey. So to miss a shot is to take the shot, to try, and to fail. To take a shot is just to try and score points or try to achieve something. Marcel Man 30, who said this? Yeah, I tried to find the original source of this quote. I could not confirm. Many people say this comes from hockey player Wayne Gretzky. Could be. I can't confirm 100%. So what does this quote mean? This means you lose 100% of the chances you do not take. So this quote is saying the shots that you don't take, this part, the shots you don't take means chances you don't take. So here, this is like a sports quote. So a shot equals a chance. So it means if you don't take the chance, you automatically lose like the opportunity. The opportunity is gone. So that's what this expression means. If you don't take any chances, you don't win anything. So you automatically lose or you miss a shot. It's automatic failure. Krista says, who is Lucille Ball? Oh, Lucille Ball, she was a very famous American comedian. She was on a TV show called I Love Lucy, a black and white comedy TV show. Very famous, very important figure in American pop culture. Yeah. Great. Thank you for your questions, guys. Okay. Any other questions? I don't see anything there. Okay. What time is it? 11:25. Oh my goodness. Okay. I will go to maybe our last quote for today now, because it was on the thumbnail. And then maybe if there's time, I'll go back to another one. Let's skip ahead for now to this next quote. You might have seen this on the thumbnail, on the picture for today's lesson. This quote, if there's time, I'll talk about this one. But first, this quote. This quote comes from author Oscar Wilde. He was a poet. He wrote poetry, plays also. So Oscar Wilde has this very famous quote. Like, people like to write this quote on like pillows and things like that, or like notebook covers. It's a very famous quote. The quote is, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." So if you were watching at the beginning of this lesson, you see this be yourself. Like, what does that mean? So be yourself means act in a way that is natural for you. So behave in a manner that's like natural for your personality. So he finishes this quote with, everyone else is already taken. So taken here, this is a word, actually, we use this word in like relationships a lot for people who are like dating or married. This word means claimed. Taken means claimed, like it's already been decided. Someone has already claimed that person. In this case, that personality. So this expression, a different way to say this expression is act in a way, can you guys see it? Act in a way, sorry, it's hard to see. Act in a way that is natural for you. Don't try to act like another person. Thank you. Don't try to act like another person. So this everyone else is already taken. This everyone else refers to everyone else's personality. So that means like the people around you, their personalities belong to them. So you should have your personality. You should behave the way that it's natural for you to behave. That's what this quote is trying to express. So we should all behave in a way that is natural for ourselves. Okay, good. Do we have time? We have 3 minutes left. Oof, I don't know. I could try and squeeze in the last one there. I wanted to make sure to talk about that. Any questions? We are adjusting the camera amazingly today. Many people are commenting on your camera skills. It's good. Yeah, thank you for your feedback, guys. We really appreciate it. I think there's a little time, so I will try to explain the last quote that I prepared for today. Okay, cool. So the last quote for today comes from Amelia Earhart. Maybe you know her. She was a very famous woman. She was the first ever woman, the first ever female pilot to cross the Atlantic Ocean. She's huge. So she said this expression. Actually, I chose this quote because I think this is great for studies, for working towards goals, for like motivation in general. So let's read the quote. It is, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity." This is a nice quote. Okay, so what does this mean? First, let's look at this verb, to act. So to act means to move, like to start something. So she's saying the most difficult thing, she's not saying it explicitly here, the most difficult thing in life, the most difficult thing in working towards your goal is the decision to act. So choosing to start, like making the decision to begin, is the most difficult thing in life or in working toward a goal. Then she says, the rest is merely tenacity. This has some challenging vocabulary, so let's look at it. First, the rest. The rest means the remainder. The remainder, or the things that remain, the stuff that's left after. So something that comes after that. I'll explain more in a moment. Then we see this word, merely. Merely is a formal word for only or just. Only or just. So the last word here is a kind of higher level vocabulary word. It is tenacity. The pronunciation is tenacity. Tenacity means an ability to continue. Like an ability to continue working towards your goal. So this is a personal quality. We use the word tenacity to refer to a quality in a person. So like in this expression, the meaning of this part then, the rest is merely tenacity, means after you make your decision to start something, you just have to continue. This is a simpler way to explain this expression. So a simpler way to say the entire quote here, the most difficult thing about working toward a goal is deciding to start. After that, you just have to continue. So I think this is a really, really important one for studying as well. It's a good one. My personal favorite quote though, I don't know, do you have one? No? My personal favorite quote is very similar to this. It actually comes from a football guy called Don Shula. He says the start is what stops most people. I like that one a lot. It's similar to this, you know. The start is the hardest thing, but so he says the start is what stops most people. So most people don't choose to start. That's my favorite quote. Please give some examples of tenacity. An example of tenacity is Amelia Earhart. She was the first ever woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean and a first ever female pilot. She had to work and work and work toward that goal. Like you have to continue moving. You have to keep moving in that direction that you want to go in, and you don't like change your path. You don't change your course. So she's a great example of the work it took to do that. Good. Abdirahman on Facebook, how often do you teach this class? This live lesson happens once a week. It is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. Yes. Okay, but it is 32 minutes, so I have to stop. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this lesson. I know it's a little bit different from what we usually do, but I hope that it was useful for you, and I hope that you found some like new motivation and a couple of new ways to learn new words. Like this one, this little tip I gave here with the Coco Chanel quote, this is a great thing to know how to do, to break down these long words. If you missed this, this video has been recorded, but you can check the YouTube channel, the English Class 101 YouTube channel, for prefix and suffix videos. Okay, but I have to finish now. So someone says I can finish the video with the quote, "I'll be back" from Terminator. Nice one. I will be back next week. So next week we will be back. I'll be back. Next week, that will be Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So next will be August 1st, and very exciting, next week will be the 1-year anniversary of our live streams. We will have been doing this live stream for 1 whole year. Wow. So that's very exciting. So please join us next week. Next week we are going to talk about different ways to say thank you. So I'll talk a little bit about like some more casual expressions and some more formal expressions you can use with friends, and you can use more in like business situations. So this will be next week, August 1st. If you don't know your time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please Google it. Use your internet skills. So we'll finish up there. Thank you guys for all the great questions and the nice feedback too. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. It was a bit different from usual. If you missed it, also, as always, we have all kinds of free stuff for you guys. I will show it. Again, what didn't I show you before? I didn't show you these. Ta-da! Oh, I did show you this. Business English. We have this one. There's, what's this? Romance and Love. Oh, and then, oh, back to school. That's a good one. Some people are going back to school now, aren't they? So these are all for free from the link above the video on Facebook or below the video on YouTube. There are a lot of these, so please check them out. Go download them for free. We will finish up there though. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you as always for liking and sharing the video. Thank you for your comments, your feedback. I hope you have a great day, have a great night, enjoy your weekend, and we will see you again next week. Bye bye.